It's time to step behind the scenes and take a closer look at the Owen Sound attack. This is Bear Tracker Weekly. Here's your host, JC Coots.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 19, season 2 of the Bear Tracker Weekly podcast. My name is JC. Thank you so much for joining us. And it has been another rough week for the Owen Sound attack. Still searching for that elusive win. This week, the attack headed to Kitchener on Friday night. Had a great opening 40 minutes against the Kitchener Rangers, and then things melted down with a 5-goal third period as the Rangers went on to victory. Same story at home, pretty much at the Bayshore on Saturday night. Attack kept it close, a 1-0 game with the Niagara Ice Dogs. Ultimately, the Ice Dogs would add 4 more in the third and skate away with a 5-0 victory. And let me tell you, the mood down at the dressing room after the game on Saturday was low. And it was low amongst everyone. Reagan O'Grady, who joins us this week, you're going to hear it in his voice. Normally, even after a loss, Reagan is still kind of upbeat and still kind of a smiley, friendly guy. And he was kind of down after the game on Saturday night, as was Nick Sykora, who I talked to after the game as well. You could really sense that the players know that they're in this mess together and they have to work together to figure a way out of this mess. And unfortunately, it's going to take some work to get out of what feels like rock bottom right now for the Owen Sound attack. This is a day right now, today, on Sunday morning, as I put this podcast together, that I'm hopeful the attack players stay away from social media because what I'm seeing and what I'm reading, if I was playing for this team, I would not be super happy with the comments that are being made. So hopefully they stay away from social media until this thing turns around and they get back into the win column. But in the meantime, yeah, everybody's kind of in that same pit right now with the team. Fans alike are frustrated, and I get it. It sucks to lose. Nobody likes to lose. But I also look at this from the players' perspective, and we were talking during the intermission on the broadcast on Saturday night during game notes, Mark McKelvey, Spencer Byers, and myself, and I made a reference to the movie The Replacements, which, granted, is a football movie, but it's a great movie nonetheless. Amazing performance by Gene Hackman as the coach and by Keanu Reeves. And at one point, I referenced the quicksand theory that Keanu Reeves talked about. And for those that haven't seen this, what should have been an Oscar-nominated movie, here's the quicksand theory from The Replacements.
You're playing, and you think everything is going fine, but then one thing goes wrong. And then another. And another. And you try to fight back, but the harder you fight, the deeper you sink. Until you can't move. You can't breathe. Because you're in over your head. Like quicksand.
Maybe that'll give you a bit of a sense of what it feels like right now to be a player on the team, and maybe a little bit of a sense of what they are going through. I know Greg Cowan is a big fan of that movie, so he loved that reference. But I think it's true. When you're at this point, everything just feels like one mistake leads to another, then another, and you just feel like you can't breathe anymore. Hopefully the attack can turn it around. They're going to have a couple opportunities at home this week. 3 games on tap, which we'll talk about later on in the show. But yes, it's a tough place to be in right now for the Owen Sound attack, but only the attack players can figure their way out of this right now. In the meantime, this week, we are joined by 2 of those players. Alex Lisi, the rookie sensation. I mean, he's only played 3 games with the Owen Sound attack at this point, but he's been tearing it up in the GOHL with the Chatham Maroons. I got a chance to talk to him after the game on Saturday night at the Bayshore. Plus, Nick Sykora was gracious enough to talk after that game. I can understand why some of the players may not have wanted to talk to the media after the game, but I really appreciate chatting with Nick. And again, you're going to hear in Nick's voice the frustration and everything that these players are going through right now. Plus, as mentioned, Reagan O'Grady is going to join us. We've also got a Media Room Roundtable where we talk a little bit about what's been going on lately and is there a solution? Might it be putting a C on someone's jersey? Will that help get out of this current predicament that the Attack find themselves in? I talked to Greg Cowan, Mark McKelvey, and Matt Hermes as part of the Media Room Roundtable. That'll be coming up later on in the episode. But in the meantime, strap in. Here we go. Episode 19 starts now. Alex Lisi was a 7th-round draft pick of the Owen Sound Attack in this past summer's OHL draft. He has been having a great season with the Chatham Maroons right now in the GOHL. In 37 games, he's got 12 goals and 33 points. He recently participated in the GOHL Top Prospects game, which was part of the OHL Top Prospects game in Peterborough a couple weeks ago. And he's now played 3 games with the Owen Sound Attack. I got to chat with Alex after the game on Saturday night to get his thoughts on making the transition from the go to the O, what that's been like for him, and what the future might hold. Here's my conversation with Alex Lisi. Alex, something we do on the podcast, first time anybody's on for the first time ever, we always ask the same question. Where did you grow up, and what first made you fall in love with hockey?
I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, or Tecumseh, Ontario, really, and I feel like probably the first time putting on my skates, skating on the ice, having fun, kind of in my backyard or down in Tecumseh, kind of were my first memories and really made me love the game.
Did you have a favorite team growing up, a favorite NHL team you watched, or favorite players?
I always watched Chicago Blackhawks when I could. Really liked Patrick Kane when I was younger, and that's probably mostly the reason why.
I know you've been having a fantastic season down in Chatham with the Maroons. I believe you're just over a point a game. You were recently one of the top prospects for the GOHL. Tell me what that experience was like to get recognized and be one of the tops right now in that league.
Yeah, Chatham, like the guys in Chatham, they're really easy to play with, really good players down there. So I feel like just kind of the older guys welcomed me in there as a 16-year-old early, kind of helped the chemistry with the group, and then after 5 or 6 games getting used to the pace, I feel like it started to pick up, and just the guys on my line really helped me, and I feel like that's really helped my success.
Today was your third taste of the OHL, third game played here. You made your debut at home here a couple of weeks ago. I think after that game, you had to rush off and get back to Chatham and then play the next day through a snowstorm, no less. That must have been a pretty quick turnaround for you.
Yeah, it was. My first game was here. Yeah, it was Saturday, and then our home games are Sunday nights. So we were back in Chatham playing against Kamoka. A quick turnaround, yeah, and then Sunday night game was fun as well.
You get to play up to 10 games right now in the player card that you're on with the Attack as a call-up this season. So we might still see a few more times this season, especially as the Attack have been dealing with some injuries. Just curious what you've noticed about the difference between playing in Chatham and playing here in Owen Sound in the OHL.
Obviously, the speed's a lot quicker here. You got a lot less time with the puck. Guys move quicker, stronger, faster. Game's a lot quicker, so you got to think a lot quicker, and then everyone's skilled here too. So you really got to work, and I feel like really compete if you want to succeed.
What kind of advice has the coaching staff up here given you as you've kind of developed these last few games here with the team? Are they giving you any good pointers, anything to work on when you get back to Chatham?
Yeah, they really help with the nerves too. The first game, I feel like kind of keep the nerves down in your first OHL game. So I feel like they really helped me with that. And also when I get off the ice, kind of show me what I could work on or what I did well on the iPad there. They really helped me there.
Obviously, coming to this team, it might be a little weird. Maybe you don't know anybody, but of course the hockey circles are small. Did you have any relationships with any of the guys before you got here, or is this like just a whole new group of guys that you've just been introduced to?
I played against a few of the 09s there, Jackman and Munnings and DeLille. So I played against them growing up. So I feel like I don't know them, but I've heard of them, and I played against them quite a bit growing up. So I feel like that helped. And then one of my old teammates played with Jake Crawford growing up his whole life. So.
And what's your impression of the guys up here that you've met so far? Has anybody kind of helped? I mean, it's only been 3 games, but anybody kind of taken you under their wing and kind of helped you a little bit?
I feel like all the guys have been pretty good. I feel like everyone's been really nice, really welcoming. So I feel like just everyone kind of having that support really made it easy to come in and play 3 games and do my best while everyone's been really nice.
Obviously, the arena has not been as loud as of late, but they talk about the roar at the base shore. What's kind of your first impressions of being here in Owen Sound and kind of the fans that you've met so far?
I really like it, actually. I feel like the rink's very nice. The fans obviously love to come watch Owen Sound, and I feel like that helps kind of on the ice, and I feel like really like the fans so far.
Are you headed back to Chatham for a game tomorrow, or are you sticking around till Wednesday?
We got a game in Elmira tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'll be there because the snowstorm might get canceled, so I'm not sure yet, but we'll see.
All right, Alex. Well, it's been fun to watch you play in the few games we've had you here in Owen Sound. Obviously, best of luck to you and the boys with the Chatham Maroons, and hopefully we will see you back here suited up maybe on Wednesday night against the Rangers.
Hey, you've been a very good experience, very fun so far, so just excited to play those 3 games.
Well, Nick Sykora was one of the Owen Sound Attack players that may not have been in the best of moods after the game on Saturday night, but he was thankfully willing to take some time to talk to me, which I really appreciate. You're going to hear in Nick's voice the frustration and talking about what things have been like and how the Attack can hopefully find themselves out of the hole that they're currently in. Here's my conversation with Nick Sykora after the loss against Niagara on Saturday night. Nick, obviously a tough little go here for the Attack now, 7 losses in a row. It seemed like both tonight and last night against Kitchener, the first 40 minutes were excellent for the team both nights, and then things kind of fell off the wheels a little bit for the team. Obviously, it's a frustrating time to be a player, but just wondering, how the team, how you guys are talking and how you figure out how to get out of this current slump that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously nobody likes to be in a slump, and I think we do care a lot. We do talk about it every day. We're doing everything we can, so nobody wants to be in a slump, especially in the OHL, and I think everyone, and including me, we just got to put our heads down and figure out a way, it doesn't matter how, just to start winning games. But everyone's trying their hardest, and honestly that's all that matters, and eventually the luck and eventually all this hard work's going to pay off, and we'll be on a hot streak again. But everyone's working. We all talk about what we can do to fix and everyone who can be better, and we just put our heads down and start working again, see if that leads us to more luck.
Is this something that you've experienced before in your career where you've been in a little bit of a slump, and anything that you did personally to try to get out of it?
Yeah, last year my team went through a little slump here and there, and me personally, for my game, I just try to, it doesn't matter which way. It doesn't matter if I make a hit. It doesn't matter if I score a goal. There's always something you can help with the outcome to getting a win. There's always bits and pieces you can add on. So you always try to find the last piece in the puzzle, and that's how I think about it. So I guess as a team we could try doing that, and we have been. And as a player, I think I just try to find any kind of positive I can.
When you look through the positives right now for what's going really well for the Attack, I think that obviously Matthew Kaprowski's game has been quite good as of late, and as has Trenton Bennett's game as well.
Both boys have been playing great. They've made many, many great saves for us. Now it's just our turn to repay them back for it.
Any other positives you look at right now? I think the penalty kill was really good tonight. Special teams have been pretty good.
Yeah, special teams have been great. Obviously there's a few unlucky bounces here and there, which is a part of the game. You can't control it. But if you think of the positive, our special teams have, they've always been strong. Here and there we'd let up those goals, but I think all around that is a positive of this group.
I think tonight was probably the first time in almost 2 months that you've had 12 forwards in the lineup tonight. You guys weren't short. Did that make a little bit of a difference, did you find? I know that you got shuffled around a little bit tonight from the fourth line up to the top line, but does that help having 12 forwards in a game?
Yeah, it's obviously better to have an extra body. Maybe some guys need a break. Maybe some guys need something goes wrong with their skate, or just something can go wrong, so it's always good to have that extra guy. But it's been a while for a full lineup, and it's always got its positives.
There's a saying that when things are going really well, you're never as good as you think you are. And when things are going bad, you're never as bad as you think you are. You're always somewhere in the middle. Obviously, you guys have a very short turnaround here. You're back at it at the Bayshore Wednesday night. You get to see Kitchener again. What did you learn from last night's game that you're going to try to turn around and take back against them on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, everyone's saying how the Kitchener Rangers are such a good team now, but honestly, if we've maintained to stay in the game with them, we've battled with them, everything, and like last game against them, the third period didn't go our way, but if we just maintain how we played the first 40, I think there's a really good chance for us coming out with the win and getting out of the slump. So we just got to get our mindset to that and see what happens.
Well, Nick, we can definitely feel the frustration from the players and the coaches here down at the dressing room level tonight, but sunny days are ahead, so good luck in practice this week, and we'll be back here to root for you on Wednesday night at the Bayshore.
Thank you so much.
Well, for the first time since he has been an assistant coach on this team and since this podcast has been going on, I saw Reagan O'Grady in not the best of moods after a game. Normally, even after a loss, he's still kind of upbeat and can always find the positives in a game, but you can tell that the frustration from the dressing room is also affecting the coaching staff. They had a quick coaches meeting after the game. Dale DeGray was also at the game on Saturday night and was having some meetings with the coaches and some players as well. So I'm sure there will be lots of team meetings between now and the next game, but here's the thoughts from the assistant coach after the Attack's 7th straight loss on Saturday at the Bayshore. Regan, obviously another tough one here tonight. It seems that third period has been a bit of a problem these last couple of games against Kitchener and against Niagara here tonight. Still, though, one of the positives, pretty good goaltending from Matthew Kaprowski through the first 40 minutes of the game tonight and last night. What were the coaching staff's thoughts on the game here tonight at home?
Yeah, it's obviously not acceptable. We were right there with Kitchener last night. We're right there with Niagara. Obviously, two good teams, one in the Eastern Conference, one in the Western Conference. We get one goal against, and then all of a sudden it's just like, the game's over. It's one of these things we just talked about as a staff. How are we going to try and figure out to get the most out of them? It starts with us. It's a reality check. It's going to be something that has to set in for us. But I think, Matty did a great job over the last 24 hours here. He's obviously faced a lot of rubber. For, I would say, 80 of the 120 minutes, he did a fantastic job. Kept us in it, gave us a chance to win. And, when you don't score in this league or score very minimal, it's going to be hard to beat anybody. And I think sometimes we beat ourselves over the last two nights here.
I think tonight, and correct me if I'm wrong, was the first time in a long time where you had 4 full lines, all of forwards, not defense stepping up to help out, but 4 full forward lines tonight. Did that help a little bit? Did that maybe make a bit of a difference with the fatigue in getting through 60 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was before Max DeLille went to U17. It was one of those things. I think our November 9th was our last game where we actually had Mason Roy playing forward in Oshawa with a return from Max DeLille. So, obviously it's nice to get back to 12 forwards for the first time in a long time. Previous was probably in October there, but you know what? I'm not going to stand here and make any excuses. It's going to be gut check time. It's got to be a reality that's, we don't want to set in with it. We don't want it to creep into our game. And, I'm thinking that we're throwing ideas at the wall right now and seeing what sticks. We got to regroup as a team here. We got to salvage the second half. And, there's still lots of hockey left. The ebbs and flows of junior hockey. I just said, hey, maybe do we sit down as a group together, everybody included that's in this, and come up with an idea. What do you guys want for this second half? Instead of, us always preaching it, maybe the message not coming through. But, it's going to be one of those things that we've got to look at, and we'll regroup and get ready for the week coming ahead.
You were a player at this level. Have you found yourself in kind of a negative streak like this, a losing streak like this? And as a player, what did you have to do to kind of get out of that funk? Yeah,
obviously I can sit here. I think the emotion on my face is kind of said it all. It's it's frustrating. There's no other word. Part of it's on us, part of it's on the group. We're not going to sit here and feel sorry for ourselves. It's something that, sometimes ebbs and flows of hockey, injury bug, whatever. But, I'm not going to stand in front of anybody and say that, it's somebody's fault. We're all in it together. As a player, it's just getting back to the basics. What makes you successful? You were brought into this league for a reason. Taking pride in it every single day. Talking about opportunities that sit at your feet, and be present where you are. You can't look ahead. All these guys with this different path from the NCAA. They could sit here and say, yeah, I'm going to school next year. But if your play doesn't dictate it, day to day, I have a hard time, having schools come for them and be like, yeah, you're ready to step in. So for us, it's just, let's see what Monday brings here. We're going to have obviously a sit down here, when I go back in, and let's, kind of come up with a game plan. But, we're all frustrated. It's not something that we want. It's not something you sign up for. But, we've got to be resilient. We got to persevere, and those are going to be two words that we're going to throw around a lot over the next little bit.
Tonight was the third game for Alex Lisi in the lineup. Obviously, he can't stick with the team. He's only available for 10 games max on the recall that he's on. But you're getting a little bit of a look at a kid that's obviously going to press to make this team next year and be a big part of the future. What have your thoughts on Alex been so far?
Yeah, you know what? I saw him a couple times last year at OHL Cup. I really liked his game. I think he's a kid that in this level, this jump, no matter where you're playing, U18, Junior A, Junior B, in Alex's case, he's coming from Junior B. I loved what his coach said. He's a high energy, high octane guy that, has got some, sneaky skill. Obviously, he's a shoot first kind of kid. But, 3 games, not really, maybe tonight we didn't see as much from him. Ice time maybe just dictated that. But I thought last night, I said after the game, to the Razor and Shazi, like, for a guy that just comes in, hadn't practiced with us, he doesn't even, he hasn't had one practice in 3 games yet with us. That track meet style that Kitchener likes to play, he really fit in last night. And, that's a bright spot. Obviously, kudos to our scouting staff, drafting him in the 7th round, being able to step in at 16, not a lot of guys get that opportunity, right? So, awesome job by him. We're going to continue to follow him. And, yeah, he's going to be a guy that's definitely, on the radar for sure, if not penciled in there. So it's, guys like that, make the bright spot of the Owen Sound attack future, positive. But right now we're going to try and figure out what's in the dressing room to get this back on track.
All right, Regan. Well, obviously a lot of soul searching to do between now and Wednesday. Best of luck to you and the boys. We'll see you back here at the Bayshore Wednesday night.
Awesome. Thanks, JC.
Well, the Media Room Roundtable got together on Saturday night, albeit in a slightly different location. I think there was the Soups On fundraiser was happening at the Bayshore Saturday afternoon, which moved the media people all the way up the hall at the Bayshore. So we're in a slightly different location. There might be some background noise here, but it was great to chat with Greg and Matt and Mark. We got together, talked about where the Attack are at right now, and also if a solution might be naming a captain to help with some leadership in the dressing room. Here's the Media Room Roundtable from before the game on Saturday at the Bayshore. Alrighty, Media Room Roundtable is getting together for the game before the Niagara Ice Dogs. Owen Sound actually has had some luck against Niagara here in the last few seasons. They are a perfect 6-0 against the Ice Dogs. Not sure if that marks for good news tonight, but after 6 straight losses, the Attack definitely are looking to get back in the win column. Is Niagara what the doctor ordered, or is there more pain coming, do you think, for Attack fans? And how did these guys shake out of this thing? Oh, it's been a tough go for the kids.
If you guys know, let us know. I don't know if it carries season over season. It's a different Attack team that has won 8 in a row over the Ice Dogs dating back to February 2019. outscoring them 57-21. But for whatever reason, Owen Sound has dominated Niagara over the past several seasons. So is it what the doctor ordered for the ailing attack? You hope so, right? It's different players, but a lot of the guys that are on this team this year were part of the team last year that swept the season series over the Niagara Ice Dogs, so there's certainly probably some memories of that, and hopefully that all plays into the game tonight for Owen Sound.
Mm-hmm. I think with this Owen Sound attack team, and I've said it week in, week out, you got to find a way to bust out of this, but you're going to need a little bit of luck on your side, and you're going to need some bounces and some breaks to go your way, and I'm not coming into this game thinking tonight isn't the night they're – let me rephrase that. I shouldn't say this is a night where it's a sure win. There's no such thing. And I said to Matt last night on the radio broadcast, the one thing Owen Sound seems to be running into are teams that just have game breakers. And this Niagara Ice Dogs team, while maybe not a beast in the East, they have some game breakers who could come out here, and if they show up, could maybe single-handedly power them to a win. And so the Attack are going to need everybody going here tonight, and just like any other game, hopefully get some bounces.
I think we're past the point of a doctor, and we're going to start having to talk about The Undertaker here pretty soon.
Oh,
no,
all right, Greg.
It's only January.
I'm just joking. I just wanted to come off super depressed early. I said on X today, formerly Twitter, that if a vegetarian soup can win the Alzheimer's Society of Great Brew Soups On contest, Best in Show or People's Choice Award, that the Owen Sound Attack can win a playoff game this year. So staying positive. I think if there's any night to do it, it's Saturday night at home against a team that's kind of meddling themselves after the trade deadline here. I think Niagara's probably the more talented team, you might say, but I mean, you got to just bear down and win a hockey game eventually.
Mm-hmm. Alex Lisi, we got to see him make his debut against the Peterborough Petes here at home a few weeks ago. You guys got to see him in action last night in Kitchener, which is a pretty good glimpse at what might be part of a big, potent attack offense next season. Of course, one of the top prospects of the GOHL with the Chatham Maroons is Lisi. He's averaging just over a point per game, I believe it is, this season right now in Chatham. Mm-hmm. How's he looking? Obviously, it's tough when you're on the fourth line to really get adjusted to the OHL game, but in your view, is he making the adjustments he needs, and will he be ready for next season?
I thought last night, and again, it was limited ice time for Alex Lisi, there were flashes where you see, okay, this guy does think the game at a pretty high level. Got himself into a couple of positions to at least be in the spot that if a play got made, he was going to have a scoring chance. There was one I can kind of remember coming through the slot where he was in the right spot, and the play just didn't pan out. But you can tell he's got good anticipation, and the times he has carried the puck, the confidence is there. It doesn't look like a player who might be getting their feet wet in the OHL, and as soon as the puck's on their stick, they're just getting rid of it. I think he certainly is showing that what he's doing at the junior B level can probably transition to the OHL. But that being said, playing here tonight, I hope there's opportunity at some point in this game again, and I've said it before, just to see him maybe play with some of your top forwards, just to give him that opportunity. But if everything goes according to plan and everybody's rolling along in this game tonight, well, then that won't be the case, right? You don't need to move him up. But this is a player that's making a name for himself at the junior B ranks, and you should be excited. There's one of a few things maybe to be excited about right now, but having a prospect like that is certainly one of them.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. I thought that in the limited action that Alex had last night in Kitchener, that he looked calm and poised with the puck. But, I try to remind myself this is a rookie player. He's just getting his feet wet in the OHL. I don't want to jump to any conclusions about how he might project in a larger role moving forward or next season for the Attack. But it is, positive to see that the Attack have that sort of player in their system, right, that's doing some good work in the GOHL, the Go, and putting up some serious points there for Chatham. So, I think it's fun to see, and these are the stories that over the back half of this season for the Attack, it's always about development. But another thing that Mark and I were talking about last night, a bit about Max DeLille, like the back half of this season for the Attack is now even more so. Once again about development and just pivoting away from Alex a bit. But Max DeLille is a player, I think, who, you want to see him get his opportunities here in the second half and play a more prominent role. And certainly in the past few games, he's been starting to get that. Playing on the top line now for the second night in a row. He's been getting power play time for the Attack as well in recent games. And that's what you want to see from this kid. He's was a 5th overall pick in the 2025 OHL priority selection for a reason. The Attack have big plans and big dreams about what he could be for this team in seasons beyond this one. So you got to develop him to get there, give him the ice time and opportunity in those situations, and I hope to see that for Max, Alex, and other players who can impact the Attack, not just over the final half of this season, but also beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, add Blake Munnings to that, who might be getting some more ice down the stretch here as it becomes a bit more about development, a bit less about wins and losses when you're kind of locked into a playoff spot. You would think, I would think, and
8 points. It's only 8 now.
100% chance to make the playoffs. And yes, that is a direct shot at Sarnia into your ear.
I agree, Greg. I'm just saying, like, you got to win hockey games at some point too, right? Nothing's given in this league, so there's
3 games left against Erie.
I don't think they're going to take
points.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take any of that for granted, right? So, but I hear what you're saying. It would be tough to envision them out of it from here.
Yeah, so I gave Alexander Lisi's coach a call this week just to get a better idea of who we might be seeing and the type of player he is. So he's playing at the Chatham Maroons, and he's on their top 2 lines power play time. So it's a bit of adjustment for him to come up here. And he had that, I think, in January 3rd, his first showing. He told his coach it was definitely faster. But he's also a player, according to his coach, Brendan Feasey, that can play up and down the lineup at this level, he thinks. And so he can kind of graduate himself to that type of offensive performance. He called him a driver, and he said he's got a lethal shot, which we haven't seen at this level because he hasn't had the puck on his stick too much, but keep an eye on that. So, yeah, all good things so far. Instead of talking about these players myself, I like to call the people that know hockey more than I do and ask what they think. So that's my cheat code.
It'll be interesting to see because right now on the 4th line heading into this game tonight, it's going to be Easton Mikas, of course, who generates a lot of energy. Nick Sykora is down on the 4th line. And so is Alexander Lisi. This is the first time I think I've seen that 4th line full in a long time.
Yep.
In a long time. So it'll be interesting to see now that they can stay together as a unit, what they might be able to do and if they can have some quick chemistry.
I said this last night to Matt in Kitchener, that the Attack right now have to be one of those teams where if a line's not going, some other line's got to step up. And they don't, in my opinion, outside of your likes of Bowie and DeLille. I think they have other players like Zarowski, Harry Nancy, guys who can be first-line players and can play on that first line. But when I look now at the 4 lines that are rolling out here tonight, after your first line, the next 3 to me, they're all the same. Yeah. There's any of those lines could fall into the second line or fall into the third. They're interchangeable. And how I would look at that is hopefully if you're one of those players, like a Nick Sykora, for example, and I'm on the 4th line tonight. If that line's rolling, that's not going to be the 4th line by late in the first period. That line's going to be getting its ice time. And then that's got to be kind of a bit of a message, hopefully, being preached to the players, is that go out there, you're going to earn your opportunities. They're not just going to be handed at this point now in the season. You go out there, if you're the line that's playing well, you're making things happen, well, guess what? You're going to see more ice time.
I wonder, too, with where the team is at right now and struggling a little bit and seemingly, you're trying to get out of this streak that you're in, this funk that you're in, would having a captain make a difference? I know the coaching staff said they weren't in a rush to do that, but is it becoming something that maybe, based on the situation, is a little more pressing? And if they do decide to put a C on it, does anybody disagree that it's Pierce Bowie?
I'll answer your first question. I never played hockey. I played football growing up, and
that's the greatest start to a question, sir.
And therefore, I have no idea. Mark?
Sorry, Greg. I threw you off there.
This is off the rails.
My name is Greg.
I hate this sport. And no, I was just going to make the point that if you name I think it could create problems if you name a captain too early in the room. If you're just doing it to do it, and the guy you put it on, and you said Pierce, so I'll pretend we're not talking about anyone specific because I think he'd be a great captain. But if it's too early and things aren't going well, now you're putting a lot of pressure on that individual too to kind of right this ship, just because you've put a letter on his jersey. But I'm kind of old school in the way I think about captains and how they should be and act in the community, in the room, with the media, with the coaches, with all the way up. I think it's a big responsibility, and I think it shouldn't be taken lightly. So I would not advise, if anyone was listening to me after that opening, that they put the C on somebody's jersey this season. I think you need to take a breather from the kind of collapse that the season was, go into the off season, and with training camp, like whether the team is expected to be any better or not, there's so much hope always at training camp. So I think that would be the better time to do it and make a big thing of it.
I agree with Greg in the sense that it's a tough situation to put anyone into, and just the way that things have been going, right? The Attack have lost 6 in a row, 13 of 14. What were once kind of bright and hopeful ambitions for what the season could be not so long ago have really taken a turn for the worse. So it's really difficult. If you put one person, throw the C on one person, as you mentioned, Greg, that puts a lot of pressure on that one person. They might have to wear that a little more than that individual would otherwise have to. It's I think it's a team. It's a team that has gotten themselves where they are, and a team that needs to dig themselves out of here. So I don't think there's anything wrong with waiting and letting things play out. I do think that, there's certainly some names in mind that the Attack have who might be the next captain. You may have referenced one of them. I think that's a strong possibility, but we'll see where things go.
I'll say this. After the way things ended with your last 2 captains, I'm not sure I'm in a rush really to name
Why
one.
rush? Yeah,
and that's not a knock on those 2 players. I'm just saying.
Well, I think you mean Colby, and you're not talking about Landon, right?
Sorry, not count Landon Hookie. Correct.
I think you're thinking of Connor and David, right?
Connor,
Is that who you're thinking of?
Actually, we've had that many captains. Okay, see, this goes to my point. We don't need these many captains.
I was going to say, was the last captain started the season and finished it?
So hold on. I forgot about Connor Smith, and I did not forget about Landon Hookie. I just got mixed up. But yeah, Connor Smith, he was here, I guess, right?
He was here for a bit,
here. I'm going back to Colby Barlow and David Betkowski. And look, I think Pierce Bowie, like you said, be a tremendous captain. And if he's here next year, he'll be wearing the C. That's my thought right now. But why rush into it? Just, again, there's been enough that has left sour tastes in people's mouths. So why get into a spot where you're putting a lot of pressure on him or whoever you might choose? I have a lot of what you guys just said. I just think the way it's gone lately, that captain's wall that used to be up there, and hopefully they bring back one day, to me, it should be it's not just an honor, but it's something that you should be remembered by, that you were a captain of the Owen Sound Attack, and just to slap a letter on a guy's jersey and then, by the way, we're going to trade him a year later. Like, I don't like that. I want to see guys here who have a legacy in Owen Sound, and not a knock on Connor Smith or David Betkowski, but do they have a legacy in Owen Sound? Really, it's not going to be much. It's just going to be kind of a stopgap in their hockey career.
Can I just add one quick point? Because I can hear the counterpoint to all of this is like what we saw with Landon Hookie last year. Well, you name somebody a captain, and all of a sudden the room comes together and they surge to the playoffs. But anyone who was around this team last year, fans, media, people know, like, Landon Hookie was essentially the captain of that team ever since Connor Smith went out with injury. It was just, you were just formalizing something that was already the case. So I think that's a bit of a different situation.
Yeah, and some of the players might look at it as it being cursed as well, based on recent history that Pierce Bowie has witnessed as a member of this team, going, leave that cursed C off of my chest, man. That could be a possibility as well.
Hey, these young players still, we kind of forget, right? And
the second-year player, right? 17-year-old kid.
And when did the Attack slap the C on Colby Barlow's jersey?
Yeah, 17.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? And then, not saying it wasn't the right decision, but I don't think there's any need to rush into something like that.
Well, the good news for those listening and watching is they do plan to restore the captain's wall.
Awesome.
I believe it's going to be in the off season, though, so it won't be right away. But
they need a bigger wall now. That's all. So
I think they have made plans to make sure that as time goes on and you have a lot of captains, that there will be room and they'll be able to do something special. Anyway, that's what I heard from talking to some of the Attack staff.
I always thought it was a nice touch around here. So
it is.
I'm not gonna use today's podcast to talk about my idea of a wall of fame, but if we're running out of topics later this season, there's one for you.
Let's rank the captains. I'll start Aiden Dudas.
Well, I wish we had time, Greg, but unfortunately you and Matt have a radio pregame show to go and do, and Mark and I have to get up to the booth. So thank you all. I appreciate your time, gentlemen. And,
thank you.
Thank you.
Go Attack. We'll see if we can turn that thing around tonight.
We'll try, JC.
Go Devils.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Bear Tracker Weekly Podcast comes to an end. I want to again say a big thank you to my guests this week. We've got Alex Lisi, Nick Sykora, Reagan O'Grady, and of course the Media Room Roundtable, Mark McKelvey, Greg Cowan, and Matt Hermes. Spencer Byers was actually traveling from Toronto. He got to the arena about 25 minutes before game time. He had been doing some volleyball broadcasting in the afternoon, so Spencer unfortunately couldn't join us for the roundtable this week, but we'll get him back next week, hopefully. So again, thank you to all my guests, and thank you to you for watching or listening wherever you get your podcasts. Do make sure that you like and subscribe. Always appreciate the feedback. You can always reach out by email at beartrackerweekly@gmail.com. That's the email address for the show. Or you can also send messages or comments on our social media feed. As for the Owen Sound Attack, the coming week looks like this: a Wednesday night game at the Bayshore, a chance to get some revenge against the Kitchener Rangers. They're going to be here Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Also Friday night, the Attack will travel to Brantford to take on the Bulldogs. Obviously not an easy start to the week with those two games for Owen Sound. Attack will be back home Saturday night to face the Guelph Storm. Hopefully an opportunity there to snap out of this losing streak. But, nothing brings the team together better than a big win over a big opponent. And that game could be Wednesday night at the Bayshore. Attack fans, I know you're frustrated, but let's still pack that Bayshore and let's still be loud for those boys. You can get your tickets to both those home games next week at attackhockey.com. That's going to wrap things up for this episode of the Bear Tracker Weekly Podcast. Again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you Wednesday night at the rink. Cheers.
Remember to like, follow, and subscribe at Bear Tracker Pod on social media and wherever you get your podcasts.